Pamela Ross here with Billy Baldwin. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Bright and early. In town for Celebrity Human Race in support of HSC Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Your second year.
Yep.
What made you want to return to Winnipeg, of all places?
Well, the cause, you know, I do a number of these events in the States, and you know, I serve on a lot of different committees and a lot of different boards for various causes, and this one's a good one. This is really important for two reasons. The cause, most important, and the innovative way in which we're all having fun while we're raising the funds. It's not one of those rubber chickens on the circuit again with all the speeches or another, you know, celebrity golf tournament or something.
Totally.
This is very, very different, a lot of fun, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm sure in your long career you've seen many of those types of...
Yeah, I'm always looking for innovative and new cutting edge ways to try and make it interesting, different, experiential, and to hit your goal, you know, to raise the dough.
For sure. Who is the most interesting person that you met during the event last year? Like a fellow celebrity that maybe you hadn't met before?
Well, I do this a number of times. I've done it with John Sally, who's a four-time NBA champion.
Yeah.
He won 2, I think, with Detroit, and he also played for the Raptors. And he's always a lot of fun. A giant black man who's 7 feet,
yeah.
who's like, I come up to his waist. He like rests his
You're
elbow
like,
on the top of my head, and I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
He's always a lot of fun. But again, what I love is the teams are all raising funds throughout the course of the year. Whoever raises the most funds has the #1 draft pick at the draft party. They draft their celebrity in order from those who raise the least amount of money to those who raise the most amount of money. I did this in Toronto a little while back, and I had 12 14-year-old girls who raised $250,000, and I was the #1 draft pick that year. And I traveled around in a Sprinter van with 12 14-year-old girls who were just howling and hooting and hollering with fun, screaming and dancing and singing and just going crazy the whole 2 days that we were together.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah, great.
Like, how do I get in on that?
Yeah.
So you've been to Winnipeg before. Have you found any favorite places or any particular spots that you like to visit?
You know, I'm very much looking forward to the opening of the new Human Rights Museum. I'm very excited about that. Somehow I want to see if we can tie in an experience for us next year with the human race. The human race, by the way, is a blast. It's kind of like the Amazing Race meets Survivor, where you have all of these teams led by a celebrity traversing Winnipeg to all these really interesting sort of cultural hotspots and stuff, trying to solve these riddles and solve these puzzles, and you have to think outside of the box. You got to be creative. You got to. Let's face it, you got to cheat.
Fair enough. The Google machine.
Yeah, exactly. But we had people last year that were on buses. They were in 18-wheelers. They were hailing cabs. They were. One of our celebrities had to sing. Who was the celebrity that did that? That had to sing a song. Sue? Who?
Chantal Griviat.
Oh, Chantal. Yeah, Chantal. And she had to sing. Somebody made her sing a song in order to give her a ride somewhere.
Oh.
And you know,
lucky them.
Yeah, exactly. They've done that with my wife. My wife, you know, my wife, China Phillips. She got pulled over for speeding one time, and the California Highway Patrolman said, "If you sing one of your songs for me, I'll let you go," because he recognized her name, and I looked at her face. He looked at her ID. He's like, "You're that girl." Yeah.
You're like, "I am. I'll sing."
She's
anyway.
like, "Sure, I'll sing."
Yeah, that's awesome. Just to touch on your incredible career, you've done TV. I just have to mention, I was a huge fan of Gossip Girl. Might be watching it on Netflix right now, but also tons of TV movies. Mm-hmm. What would you say? I mean, they're both totally different, but how do they fuel you differently?
You know, if I had, I wouldn't say if I had Matt Damon's career, but if I had, like, if I could schedule my career the way Matt Damon can do it, and know that I'm doing a movie, and then I have 6 months off, and then, in other words, if you want to book him now, he's not available until like 2017. If I had that kind of security and it mapped out like that for a couple of years, films are fun. Yeah. Because you can do one and then you can take 6 months off. As we're, if you're doing a television series, you could be working 9, 10 months out of the year. Mm-hmm. But, at this stage of the game, I've been in the business for, 25 years, and I have 3 kids. It's when you're on a series, to get up in the morning and kiss your kids goodbye and go to work and know that you have that security and that they're provided for, that's a pretty good feeling. Yeah. You have a gig. Tomorrow you'll wake up and you'll have a gig again.
Yeah.
And I finish my job and I wake up, I don't have a gig anymore.
Yes.
So I'm back on the unemployment line again.
Not as glamorous.
And sometimes you don't know if you're going to be there for 2 months or for 10 months.
Yeah.
So it can be
it's a tricky lifestyle.
Yeah.
Between you and your wife, your kids, I mean, you know, kids look at their parents, they're like, oh, it's just mom and dad. But from the outside, it's like the coolest parents I think that you can ask for.
Tell that to my kids. I have a 14-year-old daughter. I have to plead my case like I'm prosecuting it, like closing arguments every time. Do you get, not because I'm in show business.
Yeah.
Because if I wasn't in show business and I was still the same guy, I would be incredibly hip and cool. Yeah. And all of her friends get it, and she doesn't get it. Like, you embarrass me and go away. And I'm like, ask your friend. And she's like, I know, my friends always tell me they think you're the coolest dad, you're the coolest dad. I said, well, then why don't you get it?
Yeah, because she's not allowed to get it. It'll ruin her reputation.
Lots of cool celebrities. We have Marty McSorley. Probably one of the only people that I would understand if you drafted before me.
Okay.
Because he's Marty McSorley.
Yeah.
You know, once you're north of the border, you know,
that's it.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
John Sally, 4-time NBA champion. Brooke Smith from Ray Donovan. Patrick Fischler from Lost in Californication.
Yeah.
Ann Dudek from Mad Men. Jess McCallan from Mistresses. I mean, we've got a really, really good lineup this year.
I saw the list was
the
long list too. There's a lot of teams.
A bunch of hockey players, a bunch of NBA stars, and a lot of people that you would know from stage and screen.
I'm gonna be at one of the pit stops, so I might just give you a little. I know none of the questions or anything, but I'll try to be as unbiased as possible. Because now that we've met, you're the only one of the celebrities I've met. So
see,
maybe give you a little.
Always got to work your angles.
Push along.
Always got to work. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
That's a good motto to live by. Billy Baldwin, part of the Celebrity Human Race Tomorrow in support of HSC Foundation. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks so much. Pleasure.